Now I'm going to share my screen with you, but we're going to start with a poll. So if you would go to the Q&A section, you will see a poll coming up asking you a question about your organization and how you feel about where you are on your journey to being world-class. So that poll should be coming up. And I am actually not able to see the poll results. So if you can just text those to me, that'd be fantastic. Building a world-class sales organization. What does it take? So it's interesting to think today about all the talk about virtual, when really what we have to do is just be good at sales. So if your desire is to really provide an exceptional experience from the first point of contact, when your customer first meets you, when you're prospecting and you have those first discovery calls, and carry that all the way through the life of the customer, then the focus cannot simply be on virtual selling, although some of the skills are very important, just like Jeffrey talked about. But instead, the focus has to be on building a world-class sales organization. So the poll results are coming in. Thank you so much for texting those to me. Yes, 30% feel like they have a world-class organization already. 20% are getting there. Yay! And 55% said, we've got a ways to go. Well, hopefully some of the things I'm going to share with you now are going to help you on that journey no matter where you are. Because the world has changed. I don't need to tell you that. It's in the news, it's everywhere. We've been talking about it for 2 days. The fact is, it will continue to change. And I really believe those changes are a good thing. Some of them needed to happen, and we're still working on them. And these changes are shining a light. They're shining a light on some things that just simply need to change. And one of those is sales. It's true. We need to shine a light on sales, and we need to make those changes. It's true also that our salespeople, some of them, were really used to going out and visiting with their customers, and they just can't do that anymore. It's also true that all of the pressure from these changes is impacting some people in a negative way. And when we are impacted in this way with this pressure, we tend to perform at our worst. So something's got to change. So how do you build a world-class sales organization in the midst of all of this? I'm going to talk about 3 things that you can do. Certainly that's not all of it. There's so much, but I think if you pay attention to these 3, we'll have a great start. First, we need to relieve the pressure that comes with change. Even though sometimes that pressure is good, it's still there and it impacts us. We have to focus on the customer. That's nothing new, but maybe now more than ever, we must. And we have to prepare our teams to win. So let's talk about the pressure for a minute. Would you go ahead and put into the chat if you're feeling a little more pressure than normal? I know I have been. So if you're feeling more pressure than normal, would you chat yes? And if you're not, that's okay, put no. And let's see what all of your colleagues who are watching chat in. Are there more yeses or nos? Okay, and I'm not able to see the chat, but I'm guessing there are more yeses.
A
So
lot more yeses.
A lot more yeses, Gerhard. Thank you. Thank you. So let's talk about the pressure for just a minute. I don't want to dwell on it because this is about looking forward and being positive, but there is a lot of pressure on the seller and the sales managers, and really the whole sales team. There's fear, uncertainty, family pressure, peer pressure, leadership pressure. There's investors, confusion, focus, time, distractions, politics, skills, rejection, violence, etc., etc., etc. All of these things are added pressure on the sellers when you're trying to build a world-class organization. And imagine with all that pressure on you, your sellers, your company, that same pressure is on the buyer. The fear, the risk, the peers, the focus, the time, the distractions, the messaging, the rejection, the anger, etc., etc., etc. So we have a seller under tremendous pressure, selling to a buyer under tremendous pressure. And under those conditions, we still can build a world-class organization. And even if you're already there, we can be better. On top of all of that, one of the most tremendous pressures that I'm seeing is people fear losing their job. Now, on the seller side, if they don't sell, they're going to lose their job. On the buyer side, if they make a bad decision, they're going to lose their job. If their whole group gets furloughed, they lose their job. So if you would just chat in for me now and let me know, have any of your companies done any layoffs at all? If they've done layoffs, write yes. And if they haven't done any layoffs, write no. So Gerhard, let me know what it looks like. Take a look at your colleagues. How many of their companies have done layoffs? You should be seeing some yeses. And some of you may not have. Some of you may be hiring like crazy because it's your best year ever. What are you seeing, Gerhard?
Right now, I see 2 yeses and 1 no.
Okay, well, hopefully some more are coming into the chat. I know with a lot of the clients that I'm working with, the salespeople were working on deals that were really close to closing, and all of a sudden, an entire department got furloughed, and now there's no one who really knows what was going on, and they're not going to move forward. Now, I'm not saying those sales can't be repaired in some way, but it is really different than anything we've ever experienced, where we're working with people and all of a sudden they're furloughed. They're no longer there. So people are losing their jobs, and it is impacting the way we sell. We have to think about all of this pressure. Pressure equals stress, and stress equals less sales. So if you're experiencing that, if your salespeople are experiencing that, they're probably under too much stress. And their customers can sense the stress. They feel pressured by your salespeople. They're worried that they'll make a bad decision that will be costly. Their needs are not being met because your salespeople can't focus on their needs. Why? Because your salespeople are focused on selling something so they don't get fired. And what we have is a vicious circle. That's tough. So now we're going to run another poll. Do any of your salespeople ever do anything they wouldn't do normally when they didn't have as much pressure? So take a look again in the area that says Q&A, and you'll see the poll. Do any of your salespeople do things they wouldn't do normally when they're under pressure? Yes or no? And then if somebody would just let me know what the poll results are. So the poll is open. So stress decreases resiliency, and that's why it's important to know whether your salespeople are under stress. Some pressure is good. We need goals and timelines and expectations so that we can be productive and successful. But too much pressure is stressful. It changes our behavior for the worse. It reduces our ability to think clearly and control our own behavior. Less resilient salespeople are less likely to make a sale. What does the poll say, Gerhard?
I'm tallying it up even as we speak.
Very good.
One comment is many of my previous colleagues are living in permanent fear. And there are I do the quick math. It is about 40-60, and the yeses
And
60.
the poll,
60%.
Aaron just texted me that 100% said their salespeople do things that they normally wouldn't when they're under stress. I guess I'm not surprised, Gerhard. All right. So what we want to do is build resiliency, right? So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to take a look at ourselves, of course. Always first, we want to look at ourselves and we want to see what's producing the stress. We want to relieve the pressure. We want to coach our salespeople to take breaks, take a vacation, exercise, eat right, take care of themselves, and do all of the things that will help relieve the pressure. The pressure and stress, it's around us all the time, but it's how we react that makes the difference. So the stress can be out there, but I don't have to get upset or obsessed or freaked out or start crying. I can take care of myself and manage the way I handle that stress so I'm not in fight, flight, or freeze, as Dave discussed earlier. So great sales leaders and great company leaders are making sure that employees take care of themselves. This is really important. Would everyone please chat in at least one way that they take care of themselves, that they stay in a good mindset, and that they stay calm and focused and centered so that they can be their best? Just chat in one thing that you do. You probably do more than one, but just chat in at least one thing that you do to keep yourself centered, grounded, to make yourself feel great, to stay in a good mindset. Gerhard, can you let me know what's coming in?
Yeah, but first I want to know from you, what are you doing to keep centered?
Well, I do a lot of things. I do yoga several times a week. I take a walk for 20 minutes every day. Sometimes I get a chance to take a longer walk, but I try to do at least 20 minutes. I use essential oils. I love them. I love to have the aromas that help me stay calm. I meditate. I sit in my garden and I watch the birds.
That's wonderful. One answer, no watching news, drink good wine.
Yes.
Screen time locks on my phone, physical exercise daily and stay positive. Exercise every day, good TV show, meditate, exercise early in the morning, play softball, workout, read my Bible first every morning before hitting my sales office, pray and have a quiet time, perform music, breathing exercise, read, meditate, take time each morning to be thankful for what I have, listen to music during the day, schedule time just to think. Work out 3 times a week, read, walking, conference calls, coach kids basketball. I have an under-desk bicycle. I've pedaled 2 miles doing this
That's great.
conference. Good for you. Rise early, read for 20 minutes, half a mile walk at sunrise, and plan 3 projects to focus on the most important tasks. And what else do we have?
So we all
Stretching,
know.
scented
Go ahead.
candles in the office, going outside and see hummingbirds. I love that. We have a hummingbird
We
feeder
have
at our
hummingbirds
house.
too, and I love that.
Tennis, getting out of the city on the weekends. I have to have a habit of reaching that grounded state by engaging from the heart at my friend Lauren Michaels Harris.
Wonderful.
So,
Well,
it's awesome.
there's so many things that people do, and we all know what to do. It's a matter of making sure we do it. And we know how these things ground us and make us feel. So it's our responsibility to help our colleagues do the same. If they don't have any of these wonderful ways, maybe you can share some with them. Maybe you can help them to figure out some ways that will work for them. Because if we don't manage the stress, we're not going to be a world-class organization. You can't have a bunch of crazy salespeople running around all stressed, feeling all that pressure, and be world-class. It's just not going to work. So we need to take care of.
And there's another comment. When the body is tired, exercise the mind, and when the mind is tired, exercise the body.
Oh, I love that one. Thank you so much. That is absolutely right. I love it. The other thing we can do to become more resilient is change our focus, right? So it's easy sometimes now, especially if you turn on social media or the news, to focus on all the bad things that are happening, but really so many more good things are happening. And as I said earlier, when I put up the slide with the world, things are changing, but so much for the good. And so if we change our focus to what is good in the world and what's happening, that positive changes, we can stay more positive and we can change our focus. We're in control of our focus, and we can change our focus away from our problems. And what did Tanya say yesterday? Away from the moaning madness. Don't be part of that, right? Don't be part of that moaning madness. Be here now, right? And take control and change your focus. And to have a world-class sales organization, we have to focus on the customer. That's really why we're all here. There is no other reason when we're in sales. It's all about the customer. We have to be focused on them. So I want to talk to you about the 5 C's to focus on your customer. And we're going to do another chat in a minute. So I'm going to just talk to you about these 5 C's and how they just continue. I think somebody yesterday said, sales is not linear. No, it's not. It really never has been. We've described it in a linear fashion, but it's not linear. It continues. And sometimes it goes back and forth and sideways and up and down. So we have to think about the way we work with our customers in a very circular fashion. So the 5 C's, really you could start anywhere, but I'm going to start with care, because if you don't care, it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. You've got to care first. If you want a world-class sales organization, you have to have people working with you and your customers who care. So that's where it starts. And from care, we can move to curiosity. If we're curious, we can learn what we need to know so that we can be helpful. But in order to do that, we have to do our homework. We have to research. We have to know our customers. We have to know their industries. We have to know what's happening with the people. We have to know a lot of things about them. And then we will have information to be more curious with so that we can have a conversation. And that conversation will bring out insights insights that will help us move forward together so that we can collaborate. Because that's really what it is today. We can't make a sale on our own. We need our own team to collaborate with us, and we need the customer's team to collaborate with us. So we absolutely have to be collaborative in our approach to selling if we want to be world-class. And that collaboration leads to commitment. Now, sometimes that commitment might be no, now is not a good time, or no, we're not going to move forward with this. But that's an important commitment too, because it prevents us from wasting time. The commitment to move forward is a great one as well. But we can't get that if we don't care, if we're not curious, if we don't have conversations, and we don't collaborate. So that moves us to commitment. And when we're committed and our customer is committed, that is a very caring atmosphere, and we can continue to have a relationship together. So if you could now chat into the chat area for me, are your salespeople focused on the 5 C's to address the challenges that their customers have and to solve? If you believe they are focused on these 5 C's, put yes. If you are not sure, put maybe. And if they're not focused on these 5 C's, put yes, put no. So yes if they are, maybe if you're not sure, or some of them are and some of them aren't. And if you don't think they're focused on these 5 C's, type in no. All right, and so while you're typing those in, we'll read those out in a second. No matter where they are with the 5 C's, take the time to teach them how to be better at them. We want to be our best, so even if we're good, we can get better. All right, Gerhard, what does the chat look like?
Well, it's really almost even split between yes and no.
Wow.
Some say maybe some of them. And there's a quick comment. 35 years ago, my sales manager said, I'm a professional salesperson selling to amateur buyers. Expect to close the sale.
Yeah, so, and we do have to remember that. That's why we have to be collaborative. Sometimes our buyers right now don't really know how to buy from us. And remember, they're under the same tremendous pressure that we're under. And we have to collaborate with them and guide them to get a commitment from them. So it is important to remember that there are buyers out there who have never made a decision to purchase the thing that you sell to them. They may not have even known about it until recently when you brought it to their attention. So of course they're going to need to collaborate with you to learn more and to understand and to make a good decision. So give them that.
Another quick comment that the 5 C's are easier to apply as an individual than as a company. I wish more companies implemented it.
That would be nice. And since selling is a team sport, we do need our entire team to be in this mode. So these slides are going to be available so that you can take the 5 C's to your team and talk about how you can implement them. Okay, so what is it that our customers really need? They need a world-class sales organization focused on helping them attain their goals and win. So if you're doing anything other than that, that is not going to be considered world-class. The focus has to be on the customer and helping them attain their goals and win. So what does that take? Well, it takes experience. It takes knowledge. It takes preparation. And all of those things add up to confidence, which is something that our salespeople really need right now. When we're under pressure, sometimes our confidence wanes. So what do we have to do to build a world-class sales organization? We have to add it all up. We have to have that experience, that knowledge, and that preparation to be confident. Now, there's no replacement for experience other than the years that it takes to get it. But knowledge and preparation are available to all of us all of the time. And of course, the experiences just keep coming in. So if we point out to everyone that they can use these together, then they're going to be able to be more confident. And confidence wins in sales. Confident salespeople can approach prospects confidently. They exude that confidence in their expertise in helping their customer make a decision. It's part of the collaboration. It's hard to be curious or have a conversation and collaborate if you're not confident. Confidence reduces stress. And we just said there's so much pressure that it's creating stress. So to relieve some of that, we need to make our salespeople feel more confident, because confident sellers close more deals. So we're going to do another poll now. Are your salespeople confident? Number 1 is 100%. Number 2 is some of them are. And number 3 is we need to do some work on this. So go ahead and answer the poll. Remember, that's in the Q&A section. The poll will pop up and you can answer it. And think about the confidence level of the people that you're working with. So while that's going, I'm just going to talk a little bit about preparing your team to win, because that's what your job is in building a world-class sales organization. In building a world-class organization, we're helping our salespeople win every day. Small wins and big wins. That's what we're doing. And they'll need confidence to do that. All right, any poll results?
Yeah, we are still getting the numbers in, Alice. Give me a while the audience is
okay, I'm going to keep
that.
going.
Yeah.
So we want them to win, and we know that winners have coaches. I don't know any famous sports player in the world that didn't have a great coach. So if you want your salespeople to win, you absolutely need to coach them. And of course, you'll want to provide training. But training without coaching is not going to change behavior. So world-class organizations provide the training followed by the coaching to get the behavior change that's needed.
All right, let me give you the quick tally on the confidence. Are your salespeople confident? 26% said yes. 58% say some of them are, and need to work on this is 16%.
Awesome.
My personal hunch is that confidence is like the weather. You know, sometimes it's low, sometimes it's high, and it's never really even. But with the right preparation, I think you can boost it up by 20, 30, or 50% or even more. And
Absolutely.
And I think that the sales leader can play a very important role in this by believing in salespeople and not seed doubts in their minds.
Well, I think that we could keep an eye on confidence all the time, because I agree with you. It's a bit like the weather, and we always need to make sure that they have it. So I said we'd talk about building a world-class virtual organization. And in wrapping up, I just want to hit on the virtual, because I believe a world-class organization can sell virtually or in person or any way that they need to. And that's why focusing on world-class is more important than focusing on virtual. Some people think that virtual selling will come to their rescue. The training will make everybody better. It will relieve some of the pressure. It will make class. Well, I do believe there's some training that needs to go on. Most of us have always sold virtually. Using the phone virtual? So instead of focusing on the virtual, let's focus on some other things. We already know the world is different. There's severe economic conditions, a pandemic, kids at home, social injustice, a polarizing presidential election, and few of us have ever had to operate underneath these conditions. But most of us have sold virtually. Even those of us who are out in the field and going to trade shows have used the phone and email and fax and texting in between. So we've all always sold virtually. But yes, as Jeffrey Gitomer said, video is more important now. So we do have to learn to use these things. But the tools that we need to sell virtually are the same tools that we use. So let's not place too much importance on virtual, and let's place more importance on good, solid selling skills and being confident sellers and the 5 C's. Of course, it doesn't hurt to have all the equipment that you need to do a great job on a video call. So make sure your sellers have that. But we have to go beyond virtual to world class. We have to sell the way the customers want to buy. So how do you build a world-class sales organization? Relieve the pressure. Focus on the customer and prepare your team to win. I think we're out of time, but if you have a few questions, chat them in and I'll try to get to them later. I do have some resources for you that will be published. And of course, I'd love for you to connect with me on LinkedIn and tell me that you were here with us on Sales 3.0.